morning, YouTube. Today we're going to review the Stealth 11 kayak from Emotion. So we're going to start off with some hard facts, like what the kayak features, like rod holders, handles, scupper plugs, and width. And then we're going to figure out how all these components compile in order to match its suitability towards rivers, oceans, and lakes, and also how this affects its stability and speed and all that fun stuff. So as the name implies, it's 11 foot long. I think it's 40 feet wide at its widest. It's got 4 handles on it, and these handles are very durable. I've owned this kayak for 5 years. 5.5 years I've owned this kayak, and none of the handles have come off. This back one, it's come off a little, but that was my fault. As you can tell, I pulled the rope a little too hard. Comes a little bungee up front. That's really convenient for holding like something like an anchor or a life jacket. I tied this rope on here. It's also very convenient to tying it down to the Jeep. And here's the footwell. I am 6'3", and I have no problem stretching out my legs in this thing. As you can see, my legs are fully stretched out, but that's kind of uncomfortable, so I just like to do it like this. It comes with a rod holder. Over the course of 5 years, I've managed to lose the component that screws the rod holder into place, so I don't use that anymore. And instead I mount a transducer right here, and then it's got 2 little holes underneath the container right here. Unfortunately, water does like to get in there, so you need to take it out sometimes, but you can fit the transducer wires through those holes and into the middle here, which there's nothing blocking the inside of the kayak. It's just all open. You can stick your hand way down in there. I put some duck seal, which is essentially industrial Play-Doh, down there to mount the transducer, and the transducer sonar penetrates straight through this duck seal. It's also got a little bungee that you can tie objects to, like your phone and keys. And these scooper holes, water only really comes through them when you're putting the kayak in the water, and that's it really. They got a little lip on the inside so water doesn't like shoot out like a geyser, but it does allow water to drain effectively, and there's 8 of them. Back here we got the seat. As you can see, well, I'm filming so I know what I'm looking at in the camera, but this comes up a lot over 5 years, so that might not be the most durable thing in the world. And this seat, it's just a seat. It's not super comfortable, but I don't know if I broke this. It doesn't look like it's broken, but if you put too much pressure on the seat, it will always pop out and fall backwards. But lately I haven't had a problem with that, as long as you adjust the straps appropriately. And of course, I forgot to bring the seat with me for this video. It's got 3 rod holders. These 2 back here are 4 inches deep by I think 2 inches wide. And it also comes with a little strap right here. And by the way, I don't know if you can tell us on the internet, but this space back here is absolutely massive. I have never filled up this entire space with gear, and I don't think I ever will. It's just huge. Like, that's how big it is. So this is what the bottom of the kayak looks like. It's got a little tiny keel in the middle, and it's also got these 2 sides come up a little, which gives it a lot of stability. Then you go back here, it's got a skeg wheel, but as you can tell, my skeg wheel is gone. Well, it's not gone, it's still there, just it's absolutely shredded up, because I think it caught on a rock or something, and then it started shredding, and then it kept shredding. And now I've probably shredded off 2 inches of it over 5 years, and eventually it'll wear down. I don't know if the manufacturer sells this part again, so I don't know what I'll do once oh, there it comes off a little bit more. So I don't know what I'll do if this finally breaks, but that's that. And then in the back of the kayak, you have a little drain hole, which I have lost the piece for this, which allows a lot of water to come in when you're going through white water, which is kind of unfortunate. But all you want to do if you want to drain this kayak, drain all the water out of it, you just come over here, grab it, flip it, and ta-da. It's that easy. And this kayak does weigh, it's a heavy kayak. It weighs about 75 pounds. They didn't say that online, but it does weigh about 75 pounds, which can make launching in the surf, if you got any kind of waves, kind of difficult, because those waves, they grab this kayak and it just moves, and that's a lot of weight to keep with you. But yeah, once you're out on the ocean, it's pretty stable, honestly. Like, I'll show some videos, but I can throw a cast net from this kayak, and you can stand for hours on it if you wanted to. So far as speed for this kayak, this is Burke Lake. I've paddled to one end, to the other end, take a break, and paddled back without brakes. And I calculated my average speed for this kayak, which is paddling over the course of like 2 or 3 miles, to be 4.4 miles per hour. Which, there's a lot of sit-insides that are faster than that, but for a very stable sit-on-top kayak, I think that's a pretty decent speed. Now on to tracking. I'll show a video of this too. But when I first got this kayak, the tracking was very good. I would stop paddling and then it would keep straight for about 10 or 12 seconds, and then it would start to kind of veer to one side or the other. Now, because the skeg wheel's all torn up, it'll stay straight for like maybe 4 or 5 seconds, then it'll start like veering off a lot. So the tracking isn't great anymore, but the stability is still amazing, so I love that part. So this is currently how the kayak tracks. Not excellent, but it was better before. We was fishing the fish finder right there. Now, so far as its suitability for lakes, I think it's an amazing kayak. Like I said, it's stable, it's kind of fast, and it has okay tracking. I've caught big catfish out of here, crappie. You know, you can catch anything out of here. And the draft, I think the term is called, is pretty shallow. So you can probably, I've paddled this across like 2 inches of water. So as long as I don't have too much weight on there, it will stay relatively shallow. And it's got, I almost forgot, it's got this little paddle clip here, but I forgot it because I'm missing this little thing that came out somehow. It's easy fix, but I haven't needed to fix it, so that's that. So far as rivers, it does good in class 1 rapids, does good in class 2 rapids. Once you start hitting class 3 rapids, the kayak is just, it's so long, and it's that waves will come over the bow here and it'll flood the inside of the kayak. I have videos, I'll show it here. Oh, it's full of water. Drain. And then you start getting in a situation where there'd be water flooding up to here over class 3 rapids, and it'll just sit in the kayak and it'll have to drain out through these scooper plugs. And while it's draining out, it will also drain into these little holes here. So I recommend, if you're taking this on whitewater, plug these holes. And because it's so long, like I said, the front will dip under the wave and the back will also dip under the wave. And that's where this hole becomes very obnoxious. But you could probably plug that with something. Otherwise, I feel kind of comfortable going through class 2s, not so much class 3s, but it's great for class 2s. While I'm on that subject, I don't know how this compares to other kayaks, but it does feel, it is also only 11 foot, which a longer kayak would be worse for whitewater, a shorter would be better. It's a good ideal length for maneuverability. Like I can make a relatively tight turn in this kayak. And because the draft is so shallow, and the, whatever you call this part, the keel in the front, is also not that long, which doesn't give you a whole lot of resistance when you're turning the kayak from side to side.
Yeah, I see.
And if you're curious too, Velcro does stick to this this surface pretty well. So if you want to put Velcro on it for various uses, you could do that too. That probably goes for all kayaks, but I'm just saying it. And so that's my review. If the price feels right for you, then go ahead and get it. I haven't looked back. Then again, I only own one kayak, so if I own multiple, I definitely wouldn't buy this. Just because I don't need multiple kayaks. Not because it's a bad kayak. I think it's a pretty good kayak. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you next time.